Hey everybody, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Gonna do a orchid collection update today, show you what's going on. Kind of overcast today here in Colorado. We're supposed to get 2 feet of snow over the next couple days. That's like 60 centimeters of snow. We've gotten nothing so far, but fingers crossed we're gonna get some big snow. Definitely like to see the snow. Let's start over here with the Catasetums today. So, all of the Catasetum divisions that I took back in January seem to be okay. Nothing crazy going on. This one's the furthest along, Cycnodes Wine Delight. This is the major, huge pseudobulb that we had last year that put out the 2 big, beautiful spikes. It's got a nice new growth, rooting like crazy. This is the other Wine Delight division that I took, and it's got a little growth coming off of it. But this is the third one, and it is older. These are 2 older back bulbs. And this week, this second bulb in particular, oh look, there's something crawling on it, wonderful, has turned yellow and shriveled up. So, whenever an orchid does something quickly, something's up. Could be something good, could be something bad. I'm going to just assume that it's something good, that the newer bulb is just taking everything out of that older bulb in preparation for growing a sprout. But hopefully we will see something sprouting out of there soon. If not, I'm going to have to keep one of the larger divisions, and I really don't want to. Smaller is better. Mormodia Jumbo World is a little bit behind everybody else, but that's pretty typical. I took these 2 bulbs off of it, and I want to sell those in the spring at the auction that I'm gonna have. But this guy is still chilling out. He got an award of, got a HCC, a highly commended certificate, and we're just looking for some new growth on him, but not seeing it yet. It's okay. Ooh. Let's see. Down here we've got a little basket of bulbos. So this is Bulbophyllum Crocium on the left, and you can see it's got some growths pushing out. That's exciting. I got 5 different pieces of this plant all stuck in here, and it looks like one of them has actually kind of dried up. So hopefully those new growths will push out, and then of course they'll start rooting, and maybe this plant will be able to continue growing and bloom for us next winter. And then next to it we've got Bulbophyllum Catenulatum, and you can see it's got some very tiny, paper thin, well, fine as hairs, spikes on it. Probably going to bloom soon. Back here we've got the smaller plant is Bulbophyllum Roofinum. Should be putting out some new growth soon. And then the larger plant behind it is our good friend Hal, the Bulbophyllum Echinolabium. And I'm hoping that we're going to see some growth out of Hal this year. But he's got 3 big bloom spikes that keep. He has broken his record again. I think this spike has somewhere around, I think this is the 18th flower on this spike. So this spike, these 3 spikes started growing in September of 2019 and has bloomed continuously since then. So you can see this flower is just now closing up. Looking really nice. Hal, but we want to see some growth, buddy. Cattleya maxima, cerulean, bloomed for us in July of last year and again in September. This year we got some nice sheaths on the plant. You can see they're double sheaths. There's a second sheath inside there. And I have no idea when this thing will bloom, but if it does what it did last year, it won't bloom till later in the summer. We got Dendrobium Country Girl getting ready to pop some flowers out. Accidentally broke one off. Oops. But I got a second order of predatory mites. This was the Neoceulus californicus this time. And they're supposed to be very, very tiny, but still efficient mite predators. So you can see it looks like little speckles of stuff. When you get the container, it's full of this kind of like vermiculite or inert medium, and it's got the little mites all over it. So you just kind of sprinkle it on your plants. And I sprayed everything with water first so it would stick to them. And then I'm hoping that they are going to take care of any microscopic mites or other pests that might be eating my plants, especially the dendrobiums. So fingers crossed that that's happening. The divisions. So I took some divisions. RLC Jesse Lee got divided, and at first I was really cautious with the watering, but I've started to water it a little bit more, and now I'm wondering if that wasn't a mistake, because the old roots on the plant, it's got lots of new roots, but the old roots have turned black, and I mean black. So I'm thinking, was that a mistake? Are they now going to have like ruddy rhizomes? Are they going to have problems? I don't know, but I'm gonna stop watering them because I think, they're not in ideal pots. They're just in solo cups with little holes in the bottom. So it's possible the bottom of those cups are wetter than they seem, even if they're dry on top. So I'm gonna stop that. Got some Vanda falcata divisions as well here, rooting nicely. This little dendrobium, it's a no ID. I saw some little mite looking things crawling around on it yesterday, but I'm gonna hope that those are the good mites and that they are patrolling for the bad ones. Underneath the tent we've got lots of Bulbophyllum divisions. The ones in the front are Lovely Elizabeth. And you can see lots of growths pushing out of these guys. This is a brand new one right there. And there's one behind it. And of course, this basket's got growths in it too. And this is actually 4 divisions just kind of sitting in this basket. Hopefully, some of you will want to bid on some of these plants in the auction. In the back, we've got Bulbophyllum medusae. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 divisions of that as well. All very healthy, growing happily. Both of them bloomed beautifully last fall. And then further down we've got the Cattail Orchid. This is Diania ophrydis. And you can see they are really coming out of dormancy now. You can see the growths pushing up. Those are really nice when they bloom. They bloom like it's like a cattail, only it's purple. So you can see they're starting to root. See little roots at the bottom there poking out. And that's going to really pick up speed as it gets its roots in the ground there. Got my paths here, seem to be growing okay. They've got that medium from the mites on them as well. Hopefully some of the beneficial mites are on those. And then behind it is lovely white Phalaenopsis Phalaenopsaurus is its nickname because it's so freaking huge. But I'm going to just continue to leave it right where it is until those very last buds have opened up so that it's got that nice cascade to it. Everybody likes cascading Phalaenopsis blooms. Yes. And then we'll try to fish it out here so we can enjoy it out in the kitchen or something. All right, let's look at the... Oh, no, and one more. Phalaenopsis schilleriana. We're still got our eye on this guy. He is growing. Got a little cakey who's come up here. This leaf looking worse and worse. So I'm suspicious that whatever this plant has, it's going to spread. It's going to go ahead and kill whatever the main plant is, and then I'm a little suspicious that it's going to actually jump over and kill the keiki too, because it seems to be in the stem of the keiki. Whatever that affliction is seems to be here, and if that's the case, it'll creep up here and kill the keiki too. So, but I don't know. Maybe this plant has some tricks up its sleeve, and it knows how to get itself out of a deadly infection. We will see. It does seem to be doing better in the bark, more air to the roots, quicker wet-dry cycles. So hopefully we'll be okay. All right. Well, I'm excited about the Cattleyas. I want to show you. Thank you guys for watching the Cattleya Rex culture video I made earlier this week. Thanks again to the other collaborators in the Care Collab project. I wanted to just kind of show you the Cattleya Rexes and where they are, because they're in all different stages of growth right now. It's kind of funny. Got some really early ones, and we got some kind of late ones. So I think this is that little bud there. That's one of the latest starts on the growing. Actually, no, this one down here. See that little nubbin? That is the latest one. That's the very last one that I've spotted so far. And so from that point, we've got all different stages of growth, right? This one's a little bit further past the bud stage. Wow, look at those roots. Nice. All right. This little guy's a little further on from the bud stage, and you can see not long after they start to elongate, they turn and start pointing up. And I've read that if your Cattleya leaves, if the growths aren't pointing upward, it's because they're not getting enough light. Or obviously they would grow toward the light if they were on a windowsill. They might grow more sideways. Then we got this little guy next to it. It's kind of, you can see the tip of the leaf poking out. This little guy too, tip of the leaf poking out. So they're just on all kinds of different stages. Here's got a new growth pushing there, and then there's one back here that's further along. So that's cool. This one's a bit further along. You can see the leaf really starting to push out the top. This one's quite a bit further along. The leaf blade looks halfway out of the sheath at this point. And then the furthest along is this one. This guy started growing back in January. He's kind of crazy. And on Thursday night, he split open. The leaf split. And when the leaf splits, that's always an exciting landmark in the progression of the growth, because that allows me to look inside and see if this plant is going to think about flowering. And believe it or not, you can see that little shadow. There is a sheath inside that. Isn't that exciting? So this plant is extremely early. You can see it does have other growths, but they're more in line with the ones we looked at before. They're just starting to push out. Right? There's one in the back there, hiding. There he is. So they're just kind of starting to push out. But for some reason, this particular growth just really took off this year. It has a sheath inside. And if it might wait, if it decides to bloom, it might wait a little bit longer, but if it continues along the same timeline that Cattleya Rex typically does, when you can first see that sheath pop out, when you can very first see the first signs of the sheath in the new growth, that means you're about 2 calendar months from blooming. So that would put us at, let's see, March, April, May. That would put us at blooming in mid-May, which is super early. Super, super early. These usually bloom in July or August. So it would be cool if, what I kind of think might happen is that this growth will develop and then it'll chill out for a while and it'll wait for its other growths to catch up and then they'll all bloom at the same time. That's kind of what I would like to happen. But it may not. It may do whatever it wants. So we'll see. But that's the exciting news today, is that the at least one of my Cattleya rexes is looks like it's in the right mindset to bloom later this year. So that's exciting. All right. Well, that's all for today's update. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next time right here on My Green Pets. Take care.